Prepare, persist, and partner. The 3 steps to getting your first deal. When you're looking for that first deal, everything is in the way, and everything is exciting, and everything is new. But in the interest of keeping things simple, in our Season 3 of Grant Teach Me Something, we are doing our 3 steps too. And today's 3 steps are to prepare, persist, and partner. So stick around with us. I'm going to go into deep detail on what that all means and how you're going to be able to simplify your first purchase.
Propelio TV is sponsored by Noble Mortgage and Investments, Batch Skip Tracing, Think Multifamily, CreativeCashflow.com, and Lifeiner.
Teach me something.
Right, welcome. Sorry, I was waiting for my live light. How's it going, man?
It's going good. I feel like I haven't seen you. What's your name again?
Yeah, my name is Grant Kemp.
Hey, I'm Ryan.
Nice to meet you,
nice
Ryan.
Nice to meet you, man.
Huh. I feel like I love you already.
Yeah, that's true.
You had me at hello.
No,
so,
anyway.
we try to like quickly divert.
Yeah. Well, it's funny. It's because I literally just read a log in the Propelio. So, subtle plug, if you're not in the Facebook group, the Propelio group, get in there. That's where we're trying to really build a community.
Tons of people are joining up
already,
too, which is awesome.
Yeah. But one of the posts was like, hey, Grant Kemp's my favorite. 1.5 speed. I wish everybody would be a little bit less fluffy, but I get it. But Grant's my favorite, and here we are, just like,
yeah, no, it's like,
sorry, bro.
blah, 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 blah,
I'll
blah,
just
blah.
fluff it up.
That's awesome. Well, I'm glad to hear that. That's awesome. I didn't see that.
Yeah.
So, guys, thanks for joining us today. I've been traveling for the past couple of weeks, and so it's nice to be back here in the studio with our favorite setup with Mr. Rai Rai. But what we wanted to talk about today is that first deal, because that first deal is so intimidating and so incredibly exciting. It is such a cool feeling to contract the deal, to have the closing agent sending you their requests for the first time and all that kind of stuff. It's such an exciting moment.
Well, and you know, plug to Max Maxwell. His big phrase is "You're only one deal away," and it's so true. Like, if you're new to the business and you've never done a deal, it's like once you get that first deal, it's like the floodgates open.
Totally.
Shout out to Jeff Steele. He was like, he'd been coming to our masterminds, been in our community for an extended period of time. He's like, and he self-proclaimed analysis paralysis, and then he got a deal. He got another, and now he's like on his 3rd or 4th.
That's awesome.
And but again, that first deal is the gateway. It's the gateway drug.
It's the gateway drug. It is, because you get this like adrenaline junkie high from it. I was inspired by this because I was in Phoenix. I was doing Steve Trang's podcast yesterday.
We're just gonna shout out
yeah,
all over the place.
Shout out, name drop, name drop, name drop. And I was hanging out with Miss Sonia Ray and Farron Travis, who are awesome folks. I really enjoy talking with those guys. Which this goes to our 3rd point of partner. I'm going to get back to that, but they're doing their first deal together right now, and being able to like talk with them and see that excitement and like because they're doing, I shouldn't say their first deal, it's their first flip, right? I think they've wholesaled a couple, but it's their first deal together in that way, and just the excitement that's going on. It's so cool. So I want to do what I can to simplify this process, because I remember quitting my job, trying to get in the business, and just wondering, what the hell am I supposed to do? How do I get this going? So let's simplify this down to 3 simple steps, which is prepare, persist, and partner. So prepare. You're doing step 1 right now. By simply watching this video, you are part of the preparation. So there's going to be a couple of steps to prepare. Part of it is prepare the mind. Part of it is prepare the body. It's not prepare the body. Part of it is to prepare your corporate structure, okay? Yeah. So that one is a little bit more controversial. Not in like a crazy controversial way, but I know there's some people who are like, F it, just go do something and, you know, don't worry about anything else. And I somewhat disagree with that. Where I disagree with that is if you want to have the ability to take deals down on your own, I do think you should have your LLC. I do not think that you should think that putting an LLC in place means that you're an investor. It doesn't.
Yeah, and this is where that I wouldn't say controversy. I think that's a little bit bigger word.
That's not like a harsh
but
word.
Like just differences of opinions, because in this business, there's so many people that are like, I'm gonna do it, I'm gonna do it, I'm gonna do it, and they drop thousands of dollars on events, on education, on this, on that, on LLCs, on corporate structure, and they've never done a deal. Whereas in my opinion, you can get your first or 2 or 3 deals, test the model, and be like, okay, now I have money to pay for all those things.
Right, and the argument, and I'm glad that you're bringing that side up. So that's a valid argument. My counterpoint is that you're only one deal away from having your life ruined. If you screw something up.
Hey, good morning, everybody. We're gonna, make a positive win. If you're looking for positivity, not today.
But if you screw something up and you get sued on your first deal and you decided to wait on that corporate structuring, you could literally lose your entire financial, and the likelihood is small, very small, that anything's going to happen where anybody's going to sue you and you're actually going to lose money long term. But it could. And my job as an educator is to open your eyes to that and to try and help you get past those things. Here's the thing. Creating an LLC is going to be anywhere from $400 to $1,500.
Yeah.
If you are trying to get into real estate, I've said it before, and it's guru talk when I say this, like, oh, you don't need any money to get into real estate. I get that. But the reason why I'm willing to keep saying that is because I had no money and I got into real estate, right? I bought my first 50 deals without a single dollar out of my back pocket. So it's not just guru speak. It's not just, hey, you don't have to have money to get into real estate, but pay me some.
I mean, and I still have no money and I'm in real estate.
I know, yeah, amen to that. Actually, part of my curriculum, if I can tangent for a second, is teaching people that when you get into real estate, you're going to have a moment where you're doing really well and you're making a lot of money and you are broke as hell. Yeah. So be prepared for that. Anyway, so back to this point. Get your corporate structure in place. I think it's very important to do that for a couple of reasons. One is you just need to have your protections so that people can't sue you and get to your own financials, because when you have that LLC, which stands for...
What's that? Limited liability company?
Yes. When you have that LLC, did I hit you when you were reading comments? I'm sorry. When you have that LLC, which stands for Limited Liability Company, that limits your liabilities. You have the ability to go out confidently contracting houses, never put your name. Your name never shows up on a contract except for under the signature spot, and then even then you put your signature, comma, member. You are only signing as the LLC so that people can't get to you personally. It's not that much money. It's worth putting that down there, and that opens you up to, because there's deals that I've done with people where, like, frankly, one of the big reasons why I was involved was just because I had corporate structure in place and they needed that corporate structure and they got a deal that fell in their lap before they could get those things done, and so we're JVing on the deal. They needed my knowledge and they needed my money too, but having that ability to have the personal protection is huge.
And you got Angelina. She was saying that she only paid $200 for LLC. So rates vary.
They do. And make sure, to that point, if you're getting an LLC created, you have to also get like the documents that go along with it too.
Filing.
So I paid $200 for an LLC. May only mean, because the filing fees themselves with the state is typically about $200. You do need to get that attorney. You do need to get your oh my gosh, the operation agreement. I'm completely blanking.
EIN,
there's like three.
There's all that stuff.
Well, the EIN is not so important for your protection as it is for like being able to do anything with that. But there's about 3 corporate docs. And so I'm going to just lump it into that when you talk to your attorney saying, I need to get my LLC created and I need the corporate docs to go along with that, because there's something called the corporate veil. It's what we're talking about when we say you have protections from this LLC. That corporate veil means it's the thing that's between you and liability. If you don't have the corporate docs, even if you have the LLC in place, they can pierce the veil. So you've got to have a certain. So typically, the cheapest that I would anticipate you finding it to really get the docs and everything would be about $450. But if was it Angelina that said that?
Yeah.
If you've got an attorney that did the filings and everything for $200 and gave you the corporate docs, drop their name here. Let's hook some people up.
And here's where we give our famous every quote ever is we're not your attorneys right now, so we're seek your own advice, but also Google it. Like seek out because we do have a national audience. what is relevant in Texas may be different in Phoenix, but different in California. So research your own states to figure out what all you need.
Right.
And while I have a stage, I do want to give a quick shout out to Gregory Ballard. He was our first super chat ever person on YouTube.
What is a super chat?
It's where they pay money to get a highlighted chat
Oh, that's
on YouTube.
awesome. Very cool, man.
So basically, you could pay us money.
You should do that. Okay, so preparing, all right? So corporate structure is very important to prepare, in my opinion. The first point of that being so you don't have to get somebody else to partner with you just so that you can have their corporate structure. But also, like, some people don't want to necessarily get into the LLC side of things because they're like, well, I'm just going to wholesale a couple of deals.
Yeah. And you know what? I will give you that. Like the LLC stuff, yes, there is a huge protection there. There's a huge cover your rear. But I will fight back on anybody. It's like, I need to get my business cards. I need to get my branding.
Yes.
I need to get a
Yes,
logo.
yes,
I need a
yes,
website.
Yes,
I need
Lord.
this.
Yes, Lord.
Yeah.
Amen. Preach it.
Get a deal. Go drive for dollars. You know, all that stuff. You know,
Oh, my gosh.
Yes, Propelio.com, we can sell you a website. Yes, you do need a website.
Well,
No,
but
I'm just
here's
saying.
the difference, though,
Yeah.
is that the Propelio website takes this long. Okay, it's a click of a button, essentially, right? What you've talked about is very important in that a temptation that you're going to have when getting started is the highs that you get, the excitement that you get from actually doing real estate stuff is intoxicating. It is so much fun. But I wish I could reference the study. I actually don't know. I can't reference the study. I can't remember where the study was from. But essentially, it is proven that if you have a goal that you want to achieve, the best thing you can do is not tell anybody about it. Because if you tell people, it actually releases the endorphins as though you achieved that goal.
Really?
And you kind of lose that motivation to keep going with it, right?
See, and on the flip side that I've always heard is tell everybody. So A, there's accountability, but B, there may be people that can help you along your journey.
Yeah, so there is a fine line there, right? There
Basically,
is a balance,
it
right?
depends.
So, so where I'm referencing that is, I want you to make your goal a closed deal with money in your bank account. Nothing else matters except for a closed deal with money in your bank account.
I have I don't know if it's a good analogy, but I just thought an analogy as you're talking about. So say the goal is the deal, and the deal is on the 10th floor of a building, and you have no building, you have to build the building. All you have to build is the structure, the pier, not the pier in the beams, but the I-beams and all the skeleton to get to the 10th floor. You don't need the windows, you don't need carpet, you don't need walls, you don't need all the sexiness. You just need the skeleton.
Right.
So eventually, yes, you need all those things. But if the only goal is to get the deal, just get up there any way you can.
Right. I absolutely love that attitude. And some people really exhibit that attitude well. And I want you to actively look for that in other people that are around you. Because what happens is we go to these networking events and I talk to people. And to your point, and this is why I was like, yes, Lord. The amount of folks that are getting into the business that get so excited about the fact that they got business cards or a website or a corporation, that is getting your high from something other than a closed deal. That crap doesn't matter. Nothing matters except for a contract. Nothing matters except for getting that contract to closing. Okay? Everything else that you're doing on the way can be fun and enjoyable, and this
Release
is so
that
awesome.
dopamine you were talking about.
Yeah, release it a little bit, but don't let that dopamine release from things that don't matter, because that is going to that is going to demotivate you towards the things that truly do matter.
And there's been a reoccurring theme in all the shows the past 2 to 3 weeks, which was focus on money-making activities. Money-making activity would be driving for dollars, or getting the LLC is not money making, but it could be preventing money losing.
Right.
So focus on those things.
Well, and I love, so James Jenkins coined a phrase that I had breakfast with him like a year ago, and I've used it in my operations ever since. Revenue generating activity, and RGA, right? So that's what we use, RGA, right?
Well, that's what I'm saying.
It's the exact
same
same
thing. That's what I'm saying is all of our shows
Right.
naturally just follow a theme week to week, and it's so weird.
It is weird,
But
right?
that's what I'm saying is like you were talking with James, and then other people were talking about
exactly.
it.
So I said
Yeah.
that in support of what you're. So, but I like. So Andrew just chimed in and said, "I can relate to the sharing the message triggers the brain as if you've already accomplished it thing. I came to that realization that it somehow robbed me of the drive. Odd, I know. So I'm glad that you were able, because Andrew's a super sharp guy and he's self-aware enough to have like found that on his own. But I'm glad that we're talking this out and bringing it up to people because. Be aware of that for yourself. This is part of prepare the mind, right? So we've prepared our corporate structure, but you've also got to prepare your mind. You have to understand nothing matters but the contract.
And on the prepared is also you need to, watch these shows, watch all YouTube, University, subtle plug, propelio.com/academy. Go there and you can learn pretty much everything there is to know about. I mean, Sub 2 Grant does like 1 million videos alone. But learn the etiquette as well.
Yeah.
If I could take 30 seconds, I was at an event last night and I was introduced to a person and he was telling me I need this, I need this. Okay, cool. Well, I can help you. Let me give you my contact. And I, sharing my contact. What's your number? He's like, let me give you your office number. I'm like, never mind. I'm like, if I'm about to give you my contact and you're about to give me your office, like I'm trying to text you.
Yeah.
Like,
well, and the funny thing is that that's probably that could be a failure of the preparation of mind, because that could be what I've seen that with before is people are so excited that they have a business number that they like can't wait to give that out, right? I remember I fell into this trap. I remember when I started this business, I could not wait to have business expenses. Oh my gosh, to put,
and you just spend all your money because
just like spend money like, oh, that's a business expense, yes. And now I'm like, please stop giving me expenses.
But
so
the only point I was trying to make is on that if somebody is in front of you, like Grant's right here, and he's actively trying to help me, do not put a barrier up. Like if I'm trying to text you, or if he's trying to text me, and I'm like, well, you know what, an email would be better. He's already got his phone out.
Yeah.
Like, don't put a barrier to that ability to do business.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's just it was
kinda
on the top of my head.
Goes along with the negotiation tip of you need to understand how the person across the table from you communicates, so that you can meet them where they are, and then you get more together.
If that person's watching, I promise I'm not talking about you. I'm talking about
if
somebody
that
else.
person's watching. So prepare your mind. Prepare your mind to have proper etiquette. Prepare your mind that it's going to be a lot of work.
And another one, everybody always talks about fear. Like, I think there's millions and millions and millions of hours on this subject on YouTube. Like, I don't know if you wanted to go too much into that. To me, it's like, just do the work. And I know that's kind of like, that's just my personality.
It is, yeah.
But,
you're an oddball. And I'm an oddball too in that point where like, there's very few people who like don't need motivational speech, right?
Yeah.
There's very few of those. For the rest, get motivated. Get ready to work. But that motivation cannot replace work. Like you said, do the work. This is one of the reasons why I don't want you to go out and share how excited you are about putting your LLC together. Your LLC doesn't matter. Nobody cares that you formed your LLC. Good for you, you formed your LLC. That is not an accomplishment. An accomplishment is an RGA. An accomplishment is a contract and taking that contract to close. And I know I've said those things multiple times, but as Traction says, until somebody has heard something 7 times, they haven't heard it once. The only thing that matters is a contract and getting that contract to close.
And real quick about being prepared. You can keep that macro, you can get the micro. One of the things that I've heard doesn't necessarily work on me just because I'm not a moto guy, but I have tried it just because, like, I'll try it if you tell me to, which is have a motivational playlist on Spotify.
Oh, nice.
And when you're in the shower, and make that a daily routine. So to prepare for the day, wake up early, maybe get your fitness on, maybe listen to that motivational playlist. Do whatever you've got to do to prepare yourself for the grind of the day.
Absolutely. And I think that that's a really important part of the preparation of mind is self-awareness. Understanding what it is that motivates you, okay? Because there's going to be a lot of people on YouTube telling you, hey, do this. Hey, get up early in the morning and meditate. Hey, you should jog twice a day, or you should spend some time outside in silence. I've been on a huge kick recently in my education on should versus would. Everybody knows things that they should do, and then there's things that they would do, okay? So similarly, it doesn't matter what some YouTube guy says. It doesn't matter what some guy named Grant is trying to teach me something. You need to figure out what it is that gets you going and do that thing. And what will you do to get that motivation? And then again, only nothing else matters except for a contract and taking that contract to closing. And again, I'm repeating that because if you find your wins in anything but that, you will lose your motivation and you will die. Not literally, but in this business, it's just like, I'm not motivated anymore. So we need to understand that there's certain action points that need to happen to get there. And I know that there's information overload, as somebody's mentioning in here, as far as what are those steps to get to that point. It's the marketing. It's the RGAs. You need to understand what those things are. Propelio Academy is going to do a really good job of giving you strategy ideas, things like that. And I'm really excited. Can I talk about Christina for a second?
Yeah.
I'm really excited. I just got Christina Kraus on board to come film a module for you guys on direct marketing. This chick is amazing. She really knows her stuff. She handles the marketing for the top 50 of the top 200 investors. Her average investor spend on her marketing budget is 6 figures a month, right? And she's got data on data on data on data on data. So that will be very helpful for you to go to propelio.com/academy. She'll be filming that by July. She's actually going to be the keynote speaker at July 9th's DFW Propelio meeting. Yeah, I know. I tried to switch in the middle. It's the Propelio event.
Shit.
So you guys need to prepare. If you're national, honestly, prepare, start saving for your money to fly in or to watch that live event. It's going to be fire. You're going to learn a lot about your marketing side of things and some of the RGAs that you can do there. But pay attention to those and go do them, right? So prepare your mind, get motivated, whatever that takes for you to get motivated. Start moving towards your goals, and your goals are a contract and getting that contract to close. And that's not saying that you can't have like micro goals in between, but you need to have them separated in your mind of, hey, my LLC was a milestone. It was not a win. Okay, so maybe that's a good way of putting it. Separate your milestones from your wins.
Ooh.
Your win is a contract and taking that contract to close. Your milestone might be getting your LLC. Your milestone might be downloading your first lead list. Your milestone might be sending out your first marketing campaign. Your win is a contract and taking that contract to close.
And then dinging the mailbox. I can't talk. Depositing money in your bank account.
Depositing money in your bank account.
Speaking of those goals, of those motivators, of the preparation, drop in the comments, both on YouTube and on Facebook, or if you want to go to the Facebook group, Propelio group, drop in the comments what motivates you. How do you get prepared? What are your daily routines?
I'd love to see
all those things, because again, one of the things that we're trying to do is really truly have a community effort where what motivates me may be different from Grant, different from you, but at the same time, if I read what Grant's up to, maybe that triggers an idea.
100%. I think that's a wonderful thing that you brought up. So, okay, RGA is revenue generating activity. So we are going to take a break. Just as a reminder, we've got our 3 steps, right? So we've got the prepare. Next, we're going to talk about persist. And then we're going to get into partnerships. So stick around. This is a really valuable piece of information for you guys, and I look forward to seeing you on the other side.
Propelio.com. What does Propelio offer? Lead generating websites, access to true MLS comps, off-market lead lists, and deal alerts. Get them all today at Propelio.com.
You want to buy more houses? Here's Dar and his wife after only 2 weeks of being my mentor student. And here's Brady after paying attention to all our online videos and attending all the live Q&As. You want to buy more houses? 3 steps. Sign up at creativecashflow.com/memberships, watch all the videos, attend the live Q&As, and then send me a photo with you and your sweet, sweet new contracts. creativecashflow.com, helping you buy more houses for one low price of only
You can use my credit card.
Oh, so Ryan just volunteered his credit card for anybody out there who wants to super chat. All right, guys, so welcome back. So we are talking about the 3 steps to getting your first deal. I do want to take a break real quick just to introduce ourselves, right? Like, I'm Grant Kemp, creativecashflow.com. This is Propelio, Mr. Ryan Harper. You guys need to understand that Propelio and Ryan have worked their butts off to put this kind of content in front of you guys. So reward them. If you're not a member of Propelio.com, go check out Propelio.com. It's a phenomenal piece of software that's going to help you do so many things that you need to get done as an investor. CreativeCashFlow.com. If you like the way that I teach, the no fluff, the straight getting into it, I do a weekly Q&A every Monday night, and we've got the education modules on there for you to learn all about creative financing, all about how to get these things going. So,
and then on that, and this is, I said this yesterday in the other show, is when it comes to like liking or sharing or commenting, like it used to annoy the hell out of me when I was watching a YouTube video and people were like, man, they're always like wanting likes and shares and comments. I get it now that we're all doing this video stuff. It's basically every time you smash the like button or you drop a comment or you share it to LinkedIn or Twitter, you're basically just telling the internet, you're telling the YouTube, Facebook algorithms that this is worthwhile content, and it gives it to more eyeballs.
Right.
So, you know, if you never become a Propelio.com subscriber, that's totally cool, but at least give us a damn thumbs up.
Yeah, totally.
Or a sub or whatever.
Right. Yeah,
Anyway.
because it helps it get in front of more eyes.
So
And that
we were
helps.
prepared.
That is you helping other people find this content who may get use out of it too. So we prepared ourselves, both mind, body, and corporate structure. Now let's talk about PERSIST. We kind of led into the PERSIST here on that last part of the first segment in that, you know, one of the things that you'll hear me commonly refer to when we're talking about getting started here is proper expectations, okay? The number one killer of real estate investors who come in and come out of this business.
I'm going to do 10 deals a month within 3 months.
Not going to happen. I'm going to do a deal a month within 3 months. Not going to happen. I'm going to do a deal within 3 months. Probably not going to happen. You are probably not going to grab traction for 6 to 9 months, okay? And I hate to tell you that, and I know everybody that just heard me say that says, well, yeah, that's the average, but I'm a hard worker and I hustle and I'm going to get it done. No, you're not. Because if you do not listen to me, your traction is not going to happen for 6 to 9 months. You're going to get 6 months in, you're not going to have any wins, and you're going to think that you suck because you didn't live into your own expectations, and you drop out.
And the caveat to that would be, if you come from money and you have a giant bank account and you're able to throw all your money at the business, yes, you could start getting more than expected expectations as far as deals. But even with that, your revenue in versus your revenue out, or it's not revenue out, but your costs out are probably lopsided. You're probably still operating at a huge loss.
Yeah, it's a tough business, man. It really is. And I think that it's, you know, we have done a bad job, we being educators, we have done a bad job of setting that expectation for people, right? And that's one of the things that I want to break through personally in our education efforts, and I think Propelio's done a really good job of.
Because it's not sexy, though.
It's not sexy to say that. You don't want to spend money on my program if I tell you you're probably not going to buy a house for 6 to 9 months.
Right.
You do want to spend money on my program if I'm the guy out there like, oh, it's easy, and all it takes is 3 weeks of hustle and, you know,
grind.
$12.95 on my website, and you'll be buying houses by next month. And it's not true. It's bullcrap. It's a way to separate your money from you, okay? Now, my hope, frankly, is that by being honest with you guys, my hope is that that's the relationship that you want, and then I will get subscribers out of it from that aspect. I want people who have proper expectations, who will appreciate that there's a guy sitting in front of you saying, no, this is hard as crap, you're going to hate it, you're going to love it, you're going to hate it, you're going to love it, and then you're going to get a win. And that's going to take 6 to 9 months before you really gain traction. And then, before you're getting like multiple deals a month, it's going to be 12 months to 15 months, okay? You have to be willing to stick it out. You have to be willing to persist. There's persistence both mentally in understanding that there's going to be a lot of milestones, there's going to be a lot of hard work, there's going to be a lot of hustle, there's going to be a lot of losses, there's going to be a lot of self-doubt in your first 6 to 9 months. And then you're going to get that deal. And it's going to feel amazing, and that's going to be your floodgate opening, and it's going to give you that high, and then you're going to want to do more and more and more. You got to stick it through to get to that point. There's persistence mentally. But there's also persistence in marketing. And that is one of the things that I think people fail at massively, myself included. Sending out marketing on a consistent level, especially when you're getting started, especially when your dollars are low, is difficult.
I will say a quick shout out to Tim Harridge, because I used to work with him. If y'all know him or don't know him, I think he has a podcast right now, like Barbecue and Real Estate. So check it out, Google it. But his thing that he always talked about from day one that I'm in his office was, and when he was on the teaching circuit, was at minimum, if you're doing direct mail, because back then direct mail was the big thing, you need at least 3 months. At least 3 months before you can expect any sort of return. And then he would also always throw out the Red Bull. Like, when did you start noticing Red Bull? Was it the first time you saw it? No. You saw it at least 7 times before you even thought about trying it.
That's a great.
So Red Bull is really big. I mean, and they're all. I mean, look at everything they do now. But you know, so again, if you're doing direct mail, if you're doing band signs, a minimum 3 months before you could expect anything.
So one of the things that I really appreciated about Christina coming out. So I'm in a high-end mastermind with these guys that are just amazing. It's so cool to be around, and I really recommend, just as a persuasion, there will be masterminds coming about through the Propelio Academy, so get ready for that. But the being in a mastermind, being around people that are better than you at everything you want to do is massively invaluable. Right, that's right. Invaluable means good. Okay. Anyway, I was like, invaluable means
so
no
much
value.
for that mastermind.
Yeah. Right. It's invaluable. I met Christina Krause, who I'm introduced to you guys in the last segment, from our mastermind that met a couple of weeks ago. She came out and talked to us about this stuff. The thing that I love about this is that, again, her average client spends 6 figures a month, and she is a data nerd. She's got data on data on data on data on data. You should not expect to get any kind of returns from your marketing until touch 3, 5.
Yeah.
3 to 5, somewhere in there.
And Chris Z on YouTube, how do you guys feel about FSBOs? Absolutely. That's one of the things that I heard Daniel say, he's the first one to talk to me, is like, when you're getting started in this business, one of the easiest ways to learn how to communicate with somebody and learn about rejection is call FSBOs off Zillow, and just, if they have it listed for 100, tell them you're going to give them 50. And just get used to the you know, the FUs, the whatevers, the hang-ups. And who knows, maybe one's like, yeah, okay. You know, so absolutely, yes.
And it's
Chris Z, and then the owner finance, yeah. All of it.
Absolutely. Yeah, that's one of those things where, because I'll actually, if I have students that are, here's another thing of the preparation of mine, understand that you're going to start hitting blocks that are going to be hard for you to pass by. And one of those blocks can often be that people are scared to like talk on the phone. Right? So when I have a student that's that way, I require them to call 20 people a day off of FSBOs because they're free. The number is listed online, fsbo.com. They want to sell their house. There's not an agent involved.
And there's like zero net there. I mean, there's a giant net there because what's the worst thing that can happen? They hang up on you?
Right.
They cuss you out?
Right.
I mean, hell, call me right now and I'll cuss you out. I mean, but you... I won't. I'm a nice guy.
How is that an offer?
But what I'm saying is, like, you know, everybody wants to role play and you know, let me pay you $100 so we can role play how to do this.
Right.
Or you can do it for free.
Yep.
And who knows, maybe something good will come
Absolutely.
out of it.
Actually, I have a call. I think if you go to soundcloud.com/ggk1, I've got some recorded. I think that's what it is the link, but I'll look it up. But I've got some recorded calls, and one of them was because I had a student that I was doing this exercise with, and he was like so scared to get on the phone, and I'm like, dude, let's just do it. And I get on the phone and had a guy agree to sell me his house for owner financing.
A perfect example of this persistence, to wrap it in, is just keep doing it. And like the cold calling aspect, there's a great example of the persistence and the absurdity of cold calling. Pat Hilton, Corey Thompson, they did an episode 2 weeks ago where literally Pat had his guitar. They were, yes, it is. I literally was like, this is the stupidest thing ever, but people are watching. I love it. So they would call, hey, you want to sell your house? Corey's like, no, I'm not interested. Okay, cool. Here's a song from Pat Hilton. And he just went into a song and, you know, like literally on the phone. And you know what the guy said?
What?
Well, thank you. Well, I don't have a house sale, but my son-in-law does.
Are you serious?
And they had an appointment the next day.
No kidding.
That just shows.
That's amazing.
If you just persistently call people and just grind it out.
Well, it's a numbers game.
Know.
It's a numbers game, and that's where the persistence plays out. So again, you know, Christina introduced the fact that you know, conversions happen on touch 3 to 5. You, in your persistence, and I'll kind of unfortunately speed through this portion of it, but I just want to get as much information in front of you guys as possible. Part of this persistence is not just the persistence in marketing, but the persistence of the lead that comes in. your greatest asset to your company is that lead. Okay, so if you get anybody that exhibits any sort of interest, you got to follow up with them. Here's an excellent example that Christina gave us. So everybody should be converting about 25% of your appointments. Okay, owner-operators, you guys need to be, and what I mean by that is somebody who you own the company and you're the one going on the appointments. You should be converting 70 plus. Like my conversion's about 88% of the appointments that I go on. But that also, there's some things that go into that as far as like pre-qualifying and stuff. Anyway, everybody should be converting about 25% of the leads that are coming in. Of her clients that had any sort of follow-up at all, systemized, at all, any sort of systemized follow-up, they were in follow-up meaning anything that goes longer than 30 days with a lead that you've already spoken to. They closed 75% of their deals in that time frame. Of people who don't have a systemized follow-up routine, they closed 7% of their deals in that time frame. Okay?
75% is more.
So happy. It's been a long time since I've gotten to it's more from you.
Yeah.
So that should be huge to you guys. You should really understand what we're saying here. Now, I fail at this. This is one of the areas that I'm not great at follow-up. That's actually, frankly, one of the areas, or that's one of the reasons why I'm such a great negotiator, is because I know that I'm not going to follow back up, so I've got to close it on day one.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I brag about like, I walk out of 88% of my appointments with a contract on appointment one. That's because I suck at follow-up and I have to.
Well, you brought up pre-qualifying, and I do want to get into this because this episode is kind of geared towards getting that first deal. There is, and again, controversy is not the right word, but a difference of opinions. Like, I'm of the school of thought only because where I came from was if somebody called and you were able to get an appointment, you go to the appointment. And again, if you're getting 1 million leads a month, that's not humanly possible.
Right.
So you have to have some kind of pre-qualifying. I know like Donovan Ruffin, they have a giant call center in the Philippines, which hopefully I'm not giving his secrets away, but pre-qualifies, and then that gets turned over to his acquisition guys in the office. If you're at that scale, you could do that. But as a solopreneur, a one-man shop, a one-woman shop starting out, you need to go to every appointment because not only is it an opportunity to possibly buy a house, but it's an opportunity to learn the business.
Oh my gosh, you learn so much.
Just being in front of somebody that, like, if they're like, screw you, well, you can learn that. You can learn how to run away from that, or you can learn to, how can I pivot this conversation to maybe they don't kick me out of their house.
Yeah. I'm smiling because Farron told me a story of, she's very good at persistence. She literally got the hose turned on her at the house. One of her sellers, when she was door knocking, got so pissed that because like apparently some other people had door knocked.
I had a shotgun pulled on me when we used to sell door-to-door nails.
Are you serious?
When I was like 12 selling the newspaper.
I hope you don't get shotguns pulled on you.
Yeah.
But you should persist.
Yes.
So make a plan now.
So did y'all take a picture of that, Farron, Sonia? I just got
getting the hose turned on. I know, it's so funny. I'm like,
sounds
really?
Like a Silence of the Lambs
literally,
thing. It's like he gets the hose turned on you again.
So you've got to persist in your marketing. You've got to persist in your follow up, and you've got to persist in like what we talked about last segment of you're gonna fail. You're not going to see your wins that you want. But again, I think that one of the helpful things for you will be to separate your milestones from your wins and understand that you've got to push and push and push and push. The guys that are successful, the girls that are successful in this business, didn't just come out and buy their first house.
Yeah.
I'm still embarrassed when I think about my first appointments that I went on. I like one of my first appointments right after I quit my job. So I quit my job, and we'll go to break after this anecdote unless you've got something else. Well, go ahead. What
I would just say is like, because the persistence, again, community aspect, simple ask, what keeps you what keeps you driven? What keeps you going? Like, is it a vision board? Is it goals? I know there's a big thing, supposedly there's science behind it. I haven't studied it. But the whole concept of small victories. Like if you wake up early and you get up out of bed, that's your first win for the day. You told that alarm clock, no, I'm not snoozing you, I'm up. And then, or taking a cold shower, you're telling your body mind over matter. So these small victories prepare, call back to the first one, throughout the day. But what is it that you do to stay persistent?
Right.
Like me, and again, this isn't healthy, is my fear of failure. So I persistently grind every day so I can chip away at that feeling of failure.
And I
So,
think that
drop in the comments.
part of to expand that out is what's your why, right? Like, why are you doing this too? Can be part of what keeps you persistent. That's mine, right? My persistence comes from the provision that I want to give to my family, right? That's the thing that reminds me to keep going on this. So, so I'd love to hear what you guys have to say about that.
Yeah. But ultimately, it's just the hustle grind, the raw work, all the moto things. There's thousands of guys, gals that you can follow on Instagram, on Twitter, whatever, to give you your daily motivations. But a lot of that I make fun of, but a lot of that is true.
Yeah.
You just gotta do the work.
Yeah, you do. So understand that you're going to have failures, and understand that failures are part of the business. That's part of the preparation and the persistence, is that when you hit those failures, you move past them. I still remember the anecdote being, I quit my job, learned what a stomach ulcer was, went on an appointment, and it was like going, like in my mind, it's going all right, everything's going great, and I'm like kind of getting through it, and then like I had this moment where I realized that the seller was like, they were like, "Oh, sweetie, no, we're not gonna do that. I'm sorry." You know, they like felt bad for me, and it was like, oh, just like curl up in a fetal position and die. But just understand that those things are gonna happen, and you got to move past them to get going.
Yeah.
So,
well, I just want to say, because Chris Z on YouTube, he's like, I have a fear of just being a bumbling idiot in front of people is real. Also, the contracts being done correctly. One, I'm not sure if he's trolling me, because obviously I'm a bumbling idiot. But if that's really a fear, what I would suggest is get on Facebook, go Facebook Live every day, and just own it. And again, I know a lot of people have a fear of being on live, but I guarantee you do enough Facebook Lives, enough stuff like this, like you'll get over looking like an idiot.
well, and I'll point back to your other example of call the FISBOs. That would be a great thing for Chris for you to do, is call the FISBOs.
Schedule appointments. Call the FISBOs. Don't even make offers, to schedule an appointment to do a walkthrough, and then offer them 50% in front of them.
Right.
You're going to learn really quick that who cares about being a bumbling idiot?
Yeah,
You know,
totally.
You're
It's
gonna
all
learn.
part
So
of it.
That's a good. I like that.
Everyone's been a bumbling idiot. Okay, so we've talked about prepare. We've talked about persist. When we come back, we're going to be talking about partnerships. This is one of the last and most important sections of getting your first deals done, because you have to understand that you don't know everything. I don't know everything. Ryan doesn't know everything, but somebody does know the thing that you need in order to close.
And that's a good segue to the second point of Chris's comment of
It is.
the contract.
Absolutely. So part of that is 100% get somebody that knows how to do that. So guys, stick around with us. When we get back, we're going to be talking about partnerships.
Propelio.com. What does Propelio offer? Lead generating websites, access to true MLS comps, off-market lead lists, and deal alerts. Get them all today at Propelio.com.
You want to buy more houses. Here's Dar and his wife after only 2 weeks of being my mentor student. And here's Brady after paying attention to all our online videos and attending all the live Q&As. You want to buy more houses? 3 steps. Sign up at creativecashflow.com/memberships, watch all the videos, attend the live Q&As, and then send me a photo with you and your sweet, sweet new contracts. creativecashflow.com, helping you buy more houses for one low price of only
Alrighty then. Welcome back. We're going to be talking about partnerships. I obviously took some drugs during that commercial, so don't.
Let's not say that.
Oh, am I not supposed to let people know? JK, I don't do drugs. So 3 steps to a first deal, and we've gotten a lot of really good content out here for you guys. So if you are appreciating this, if this is something that lands home for you, please, again, like he explained, the algorithms of YouTube, the algorithms of Facebook, they like when you share, they like when you put comments, especially like longer comments. They appreciate that too. And Ed, thank you so much for doing the super chat. Any kind of support that we can get in here is awesome, because we are taking a lot of time and effort to do these, and monies to do these. So we appreciate you guys being here. All right, so the 3 steps: we've got prepare, We've got PERSIST, and now let's talk a little bit about partnerships, okay? There is so much fear as a starting out investor. There's so much fear as a investor in general.
Yeah.
I have tons of fears now.
Competition. Oh, they're going to steal my deal. Oh, this. Oh, that.
And even just self-doubts and that kind of stuff. I mean, I hate to tell you this. I'd love to be like, oh, it all goes away and everything's perfect. My name's been on 1,400 HUDs. I've got tons of self-doubt, tons of fears, tons of mental blocks that I'm having trouble right now getting past, personally.
Right.
It's going to keep happening.
Real quick, just because we're talking about partnerships, we're talking about masterminds, we're talking about learning. I'm a part of the Zuckerberg Institute, and that's my mastermind that I'm in. And one of the things that we constantly talk about is this concept of imposter syndrome.
Yep.
Where you
That's a real thing.
Where you constantly feel like an imposter.
Yeah.
1,400 hubs, and you're like, I still know what I'm doing.
Yeah.
Randy Zuckerberg, who's got, I mean, I'm not going to name drop or how much, not name drop.
You say
I'm
literally after dropping
I'm not
a
going
name.
to bank account drop how much money she has. Just Google it. But I mean, she created Facebook Live, so she's got some coin.
Right.
Like, even she's like, yeah, to this day, I have imposter syndrome.
Yeah.
So just get over that.
And I'm glad that you're bringing that up too, because, and we'll get back to the partnerships, but this is very important.
But it's important.
Because imposter syndrome, that's not just a word that people created. That's an actual psychological thing. It is an actual, like, studied, proven psychological issue where you will get there and you will feel like you don't belong, and
you're still faking it.
And you're still faking it. That is the telltale sign of imposter syndrome, is you feel like at any moment you're going to be found out.
Yeah.
Okay? I struggle with imposter syndrome. My name's been on 1,400 HUDs. I'm not an imposter, but I'm like, oh my God, like, what am I, you know?
Well,
what I mean?
like, take our events. Like, I think we have a pretty successful event here in DFW, or whenever we do an event. And to this day, I'm like, up until the point we do the event, I'm like, no one's going to show up.
Yeah.
Everybody's going to find out that I have no clue what I'm doing,
Yeah.
et cetera, et cetera. And then, oh, cool, people are here. Okay.
So we're bringing this up because those are going to be things that you deal with, and I don't think enough motivational people and enough podcasts and enough people publicly talk about, because of just the stigma of mental issues in America, they don't talk about these things. And so that's part of what I think feeds into this high turnover rate with investors, is that they don't understand that everybody struggles with that and everybody has gone through that, and the successful people are still struggling with that. They think it's just them, and then they back out because they're like, this is obviously not for me. It is for you. Well, I won't say that. Honestly, I won't say that. It might not be for you. But if this is for you, you will only know by continuing and trying.
And the reason this is all brought up is because if you do feel all these issues, then find somebody else that you can partner with to help you out. If you don't know how to do a contract, find someone who does.
Yes.
If you don't have any money, find someone who does. You know, and again, the whole money, time, and experience.
Knowledge, yeah. Yeah, exactly. That was a very skillful transition.
You know what?
can tell Ryan's a pro.
I work.
I do things.
I
do stuff.
persistently learn how to do this shit.
So again, what you brought up, every deal needs money, time, and knowledge. Those are the things that every deal needs done, okay? What do you have to leverage? Do you have time, do you have money, or do you have knowledge? Find people who complement your weaknesses, okay? So the contracting thing, that's a very real issue. That's a very real, I'm getting started, I don't know how to do contracts, but I have time. Okay, will you go door knock for somebody? Will you get somebody to verbally commit to, yeah, I'm ready to, you know, you get somebody that says, I'm just ready to let my house go back to the bank. You call a Grant, you call a Daniel, you call somebody that knows how to do these.
Ryan.
Don't call a Ryan. Well, I was trying to not overcommit you because I know that you've got, I mean, you're one of the hardest working people I've ever met. So you call people that know how to do the things that you don't know how to do. They will be happy to help you as long as you have a give. Do not call and say, hey, I would love for you to, fortunately this stopped happening because I bitched about it enough publicly that I don't get these anymore. But for a very long time, I would get several messages a week of, this is not the literal words that they would say, but it was what they were saying. Hey, Grant, I would love for you to drop everything that you're doing in your business, help me close my deal, because you're a public figure that helps people close, and I don't want to give you anything.
Hashtag abundance.
Hashtag abundance, right? And it's like, why would you think that I'm going to just drop everything and do everything for you and not get anything from it? Like, if you're going to have an ask, have an offer to go along with that.
So 2 points. One I'll make. Second, I'll let Tommy give his point. The first point is real estate is a team sport. Like, just get out of this mindset of solopreneur. Yes, say this cup today, me and Grant are going head to head on it, and I buy it or he buys it. But maybe tomorrow we both go in it together to buy it together. So your competition today could be your partner tomorrow. That's why you should never, ever, ever burn bridges unless they need to be blown the hell up. Then blow that hell bridge up. Second point is Tommy's business quote. Do you want to drop that?
Oh, yeah, sure. If you love me in business, say it with a check.
There you go. In real estate specifically, you know, if you do something with somebody, I don't care how friendly you are, I don't care how buddy you are, you got to pay them. Or expect to get paid. Because here the thing is, if I give Grant a fresh lead and he makes $1, he makes $1,000, he makes $1 million, and he doesn't at least give me a taste of that, guess where my next lead's going? Not to Grant.
Right.
You know, it is what it is.
It is what it is. So when we say give an offer of a partnership in the deal at the very least. You know, it is something where if somebody's going to help you get that closing, pay them for it. But understand that you are not going to know how to do everything. What you have to offer at the beginning is what you have to offer at the beginning, and you have to persistently put that effort out there. And just understand there's a lot of other people in this industry that are successful, that are doing the things you want to be doing, and they're going to be glad to help you if you're bringing a lead to the table and you're willing to partner with them on that lead and do the things that they say. You know, for instance, I know Corey gets really upset with a lot of people because he will commonly, you know, being a public figure as he is, he'll have people that say, hey, I want to do this deal. Will you go do all this stuff? And he's like, well, I need you to find this, this, and this. And they're like, nah, never mind. It's like, well, what the hell are you? You know what I mean? Like, if the person you're reaching out to gives you instruction to better yourself, A, that's an experienced person that knows how to do this deal. Listen to it and learn from it, because now you understand what the next steps in that process are. B, go do it. Show your worth, because C, they may end up really liking how you worked and pouring into you and becoming a more than a partner and maybe a mentor, right? That helps you through these kinds of things. So I got started. I didn't pay for mentorship in the traditional sense. I didn't pay for the, you know, I didn't go in and spend $40,000, $50,000, $60,000 to hire.
Sweat.
But I paid with sweat, and I paid with about $2 to $4 million worth of my deals for the next several years to have a partner who had the knowledge and money who could pour into me, who could help me get to that next level. That was Scott Horn. The man's amazing brain. It has great knowledge, and I would not be sitting in this seat if it was not for the efforts and the open doors and everything that Scott Horn did for me. But that cost me $2 to $4 million worth of deals, and that's okay. That's good, because guess what? I made a lot of money. Never don't do a deal because of the money that somebody else is going to make on it. If it's going to work for you, and it's going to get deals under your belt, and it's going to have the proper amount of liabilities and the proper amount of just getting you to that next level, do it. Do it. Work with the person. Learn from it. I've always said, hire everybody else for what they're good at. Excuse me. Hire everybody else for what they're good at until you get to a position where you can fire them. Or if you want to create that as a long-term relationship, create that as a long-term relationship. You know? So partnerships are just incredibly helpful in that front. Now, to kind of step that out, I see a question from Angelina. If I have $1,000 to get started, would it be a good investment to spend $520
Can I answer that first, and then I'll let you
Please,
answer?
yeah.
The answer, I would answer that, Angelina. The question is, if I had $1,000 to get started in this business, would it be a good investment to spend $520 on Grant's CCF Academy? My answer would be, it depends. And the reason it depends is, what do you know right now? Are you ready to go to the next step? How much do you know in real estate? If this is your first video, I personally would say no. Like, because you have so much free assets on YouTube. You have the PropelioAcademy.com. There's so much knowledge out there for free that you could rake in and learn. Once you have all that baseline knowledge and you're ready to start, okay, let's start, like, you know, chugging along on that train, then yeah, then it's a good investment. But if right now you're starting out and you don't know anything and you're not fully immersed in the business yet, I would say pause.
Yeah, and that's 100% where I was going to go with that too.
Yeah. But I just wanted to make it up.
I appreciate that, yeah. So here's the thing. I want your money. I would love to act like I don't, but I do. This is a business for me. I'm providing you guys value under the assumption and hope that you guys appreciate the value that I'm providing, and you go to creativecashflow.com and you sign up for the thing that costs a little bit of money, which I've kept incredibly low. And then I will continue to give value. I do the weekly Q&As, and I answer all of your questions on a weekly live event. Now, the it depends comes from, I'm going to say probably no. Probably no. If you have $1,000 to get going, I don't want your $520. Okay, $520. It's really $650. You get a 20% discount for being a Propelio watcher, right?
Awesome.
Hashtag GTMS discount code. For any of you watching that have more than $1,000 and are considering it, please go sign up. But I want you to be successful. That is the first and foremost thing that I want. And me taking $520 of those $1,000 affects your marketing budget and affects the budget that you have to live on. And that's not what I'm interested in. Now, if you feel like you've gotten through all these videos and you've gone to YouTube and you've learned and learned and learned, and you're kind of at this space where it's like, goodness, I have.
You need to glue it all together.
Yeah, exactly. I've got all this knowledge, but for some reason it's just not hitting, and I'm this one step away from having something that's going to get me there. Then maybe I'm going to be able to provide you that value through the Q&As, through the motivation that you're going to get through that, through the community that we have with like our Creative Cash Flow closed Facebook group. Maybe that would be what you need to get to that next step. I will not make that decision for you. I want you to be confident in that decision that goes from that. But that's kind of my answer to that. So I hope that if you guys are watching, you see the value of what I'm able to offer, you will sign up. That is my business right now. But I don't want to take your last dollars.
Bill, what do you mean by one more time a group for services offered and services needed group, please? I don't understand.
Yeah, I'm not sure what that one means either.
We have the Propelio group on Facebook.
Yeah.
I don't know. Services offered. What do you offer? I don't know.
How much are you paying? How much are you paying? Okay, so just to recap, what
Prepared,
prepare,
persistence,
and
partnership, and just to fully, put
Bring
a
it
seal
home.
on the partnership conversation. Don't be afraid of them. And by partnerships, it could be as simple as a JV deal. It could be as complex as a long-term a partnership in as a company, 50-50 or 51-49, whatever you want to do. But don't be afraid to partner with people in this business.
Right. Absolutely.
No. And seek it out.
And seek it out. And guys, one of the cool things about community that we're talking about here is, like you said, there's the Propelio group that you can reach out to. There's people commenting here on these videos that may be looking for partners. You can always drop that in and say, hey, I've got a deal I don't know how to handle. Can somebody help me out with this? I'm sure people will be willing to help you out with that. So work with each other. Build each other up as the community. If you're listening to this on the podcast, make sure you go to the show description notes. There's going to be a link to the live video. You can click on that and drop comments there because we do monitor that. We try to come back and watch these things.
And shout out to the Rewind. Every Friday at 5 o'clock Central Time, we do a show here on Propelio where we recap the entire week. And you can actually go to propelio.com/rewind. And you go there, drop your email, and once a week, I email out all the show notes of all the shows. So we were talking about this the other day. This literally could be a damn web book or ebook or whatever, and sell the thing. But here it is for free. Because
it's true. There's just massive value. That's the way that we do things.
Massive value.
Massive value. All right, guys. So thank you guys so much for tuning in. We really, really, really appreciate the efforts that you guys put into the business. We really appreciate the feedback.
Angelina is talking about steps. She needs step-by-steps.
Yeah, step-by-step. So like my module on seller financing is a step-by-step. It is a step-by-step to the strategy, though. I'm not a lead gen expert. I'm not your lead gen expert. I'm not going to be the guy that gets your phones ringing off the hook. I'm going to be the guy that when you're talking to leads, you will be able to close more deals than other people because you know how to do that. Propelio.com/academy. I would suggest you go check that out right now and see how things are going. I do actually have some step-by-step videos that, for some reason, I don't know. I have to find them and put them on my Creative Cash Flow site, which is called the Orders of Operations, which is just a couple of videos on like, hey, this is if you're going to wholesale, you need to do this, 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 and this. If you're going to do a sub 2, you need to do this, 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 and this, and this. But most importantly, take action. I think that we tend to overcomplicate things for ourselves and say, oh, I don't know what to do, so I don't do anything. Just start doing some stuff. Start doing some stuff that you feel is going to take you to that next level, and consistently do it. Persist, right? So I would love for other people also, in the light of community, I would love for other people to chime in and reply to Angelina on Facebook and give her some tips on how you feel things may be, whether that's about our academy, the Creative Cashflow Academy, or if you just want to give her some tips on step-by-steps, or creating a partnership because this is somebody who has some time that wants to leverage out and needs some help.
Or if you're watching on YouTube, in the comments section, drop other videos. Like, it doesn't always, you don't, I mean, as much as I like to say Propelio is the best place ever for content, there's plenty of other opportunities. And there's channels like All In Entrepreneurs, Max Maxwell, Steve Trang, those guys. There's so many other people out there. So if whatever your favorite educational channel is / a video, drop that in the comment section of YouTube, and just, you know, again, community.
Yeah,
abundance.
Absolutely.
Hashtag something.
So thank you guys for being here with us. I hope that you got massive value out of this. I hope that you will continue to get value by sharing. We love you guys so much. Is there anything you want to say before we head out?
Just the three things. You've got the Propelio group on Facebook, so whether you're watching on YouTube or on Facebook, Periscope, in the future we'll be on LinkedIn Live. Join the Propelio group. It's basically, you just type in the Propelio group, and it's trying to make that our community, to where, yes, all the comments here with Angelina and Astrid and everybody watching on Facebook, that'll get lost on this video. Or people commenting on the live chat on YouTube, well, once the live chat's over, well, those comments are kind of gone. So that's why I want the Propelio group on Facebook to be kind of that central location where everybody goes. That being said, continue to comment here on both YouTube video and on the Facebook video. So that's one. YouTube, if you're not subscribed to our channel, come on now. Like, seriously, like, we've got like 4,400 now subscribed. We've got like 9,000 people likes us on Facebook. I mean, we should have at least 9,000 subs on YouTube.
Right.
Instagram, we've got 2,048 followers there. Basically, I just want people to follow us and pay attention to us and whatnot. Propelio.com, if you're looking for comps, you're looking for leads, you're looking for websites, we got you hooked up. We should have national data in the next 3 to 5 weeks. In our internal chat, Nate, who's the CTO, he was talking about how we finally got the integration of the national MLS, and he's beta testing that right now. So it was a screenshot
Super
of
cool.
Roaring Rapids, Michigan, or something,
Good.
which is fun.
And he's shown me that beta. It's freaking sweet.
And then also we've got a Driving for Dollars app coming out in 90 days. That's an inside joke. We don't know. It's coming out soon. With technology and with apps,
Yeah.
if you've ever dabbled with it, it just takes a minute for that stuff to come out.
Absolutely. All right, guys. Thank you guys so much for joining us. Come back next week. We love you all.
CreativeCashflow.com.
CreativeCashflow.com. Bye. Slow mo high five. Slow mo high five.
Propelio TV is sponsored by Noble Mortgage and Investments, Batch Skip Tracing, Think Multifamily, CreativeCashflow.com, and Lifeiner.
Thank you, everybody, for showing up to the Propelio event. We had a great time. It's huge, as always. We love everybody that came. If this is your first event, you know, jump on Facebook, jump on YouTube. Let us hear it. Let us know what your thoughts are. We love feedback. Anytime we could do something better, we want to do that. If this is your second event, your third event, your 10th event, let us hear that too. We're trying to create a community here where everybody comes together. So thank you so much for being here, and we'll see you at the next one.